Good morning. It's just after 9 a.m. I will call the August 30th, 2016 Wright County Board meeting to order. If we can stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Pleasure to have such a nice crowd here today.
Yeah.
Thanks everybody for coming. First item is the minutes of August 23rd, 2016. I do have a couple corrections. Then we'll see if anybody else does. But on the bottom paragraph on the first page relative to the easement, XL Energy, there's no E in that. It's XCEL, I believe. That's in there at least a couple times. And then the second paragraph, the second line, it says Swatsky said the parcel should be worth more than $1. I think maybe more appropriately, Swatsky said the easement should be worth more than $1.
Correct.
Anybody else have anything on the minutes?
Mr. Chair, if there's no other corrections, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second that.
Motion by
As
Commissioner
corrected, I should say.
Burrell, second by Commissioner Hewsom. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimous. Today's agenda. I know, Lee, you have something to add.
Yes, I do, Mr. Chair. If I could add discussion on the court's RFP schedule.
Okay, courts RFP schedule, and perhaps scheduling, looking at maybe some tours still. Are we looking at going to do that today?
Yes, we have a couple counties we'd like
Okay.
to tour, want to talk about
Okay,
that
so that's
schedule
just part
today.
of this. Scheduling of court-related meetings.
That's a good way to put
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Is
Our
that-
court building-related meetings, facility-related meetings. And we'll put that for items for consideration B. Anybody else have anything? If not, is there a motion to approve the agenda with the one addition?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Potter, second by Commissioner Delyden. Any further discussion? Not all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimous. The consent agenda. Does anybody have any item they wish to remove for further discussion from the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Delyden, second by Commissioner Hewsom. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimous. Charlie, we have a very special guest here today. Could you introduce her for us?
We do, Mr. Chair, and this morning we are pleased to have with us, or honored to have with us, Kayla Mock, who has been our Princess K of the Milky Way for 2015 and 2016. She just gave up her crown last Wednesday, and I watched the farewell speech on, was it Facebook? I think I got it off Facebook, and what a great job. I heard from somebody that goes to those every year for the last 49 years, and they said that Kayla did, bar none, the best job that they've ever had for a farewell speech. So, and Kayla is from my district. She's from just north of Howard Lake in Middleville Township. And I say she's just done a superb job as Princess K of the Milky Way. Been all over, probably the state and some of the country too as well. Kayla is a student at South Dakota State, and she's majoring in ag education. Her parents are Harlan and Chris, Harlan and Chris Mock from Howard Lake as well. And Kayla has a saying, and I wrote it down because I thought this was really cool. But Kayla said she kind of lives by this, but she says, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And I think she's proved that throughout her life. I mean, she's really, my two youngest, one is younger than Kayla and one is a year older, and they said that Kayla is just the nicest person to everybody around, and that's probably why she ended up getting that crown. So, but back to you, Mr. Chair, you have something to read before we bring, Kayla, if you want to come up to the podium, you could too.
Okay, thanks, Charlie. We do have a proclamation here before us that we'd like to present to the board for passing today, and I'll read it. Whereas the Wright County Board of Commissioners joins all Wright County citizens in recognizing Kayla Mock for completing her reign as the 2015-2016 Princess K of the Milky Way. And whereas there are 3,600 dairy farm families in the state of Minnesota, and whereas Wright County has a proud and rich dairy tradition and is one of the largest dairy producing counties in Minnesota, and whereas Kayla Mock is the first Wright County candidate selected as the Princess K of the Milky Way in the 62-year history of the Minnesota Dairy Industry Award, and whereas Kayla Mock has done an exemplary job representing the Minnesota dairy industry and the dairy farmers of Wright County, now therefore be it resolved that the Wright County Board of Commissioners do hereby proclaim today, August 30th, 2016, is Kayla Mock Day throughout Wright County. Charlie's got, we'll need a motion on that too.
I'll make a motion to approve the proclamation.
I'll second it.
Well,
Yeah.
so we got a motion and a second on the proclamation. We'll take a roll call vote. Commissioner Burrell?
Aye.
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 The resolution carries unanimous and the proclamation is therefore declared.
Can you tell it's a re-election year?
One more, Charlie. Oh, my camera's not cooperating. There we go.
No, it's not your camera, it's Charlie.
Kayla, would you have some words you want to provide to us here today?
Can everyone hear me okay if I just stand right here?
Sure.
Well,
Will it pick up on the microphone?
okay.
I think if we
think
have
you
you
need to-
there, then we can be sure that the microphone will pick it up and it's live streaming, and if somebody wants to watch it after the fact on the internet, they're able to do so.
Yeah,
Perfect.
so you're on camera now.
Oh,
on
goodness.
TV.
Well, thank you all very much. I so appreciate this honor of having today be Kayla Mock Day in Wright County. How exciting is that? The last year has been truly a blessing. I've loved every minute of serving Minnesota's dairy farmers, especially Wright County's dairy farmers, because I started as a Wright County dairy princess, and from there, I've learned so much from the Wright County dairy farmers. They've done a lot for me in helping me prepare for interviews for Princess K, always coming down to support me, always lending a helping hand when I needed it as Princess K. So I'm very thankful for all the dairy farmers in Wright County. I just want to also give a shout out to my FFA chapter for coming today. Throughout high school, I was very involved in FFA. So anytime a student is involved in FFA, oh my goodness, they just grow exponentially. And the ag teachers at Howard Lake Waverly Winsted, I'd like to brag about them a little bit because they've helped me get to where I am at today. And same with my mom and dad and my grandparents who are able to join us today. Being Princess K and being in FFA and 4-H has really helped me ensure that I want to continue career path in agriculture. So even though I'm ag education, I would like to work in agricultural policy. And this fall, actually in 2 weeks, I'm moving to Washington, D.C. to work for an ag business out in D.C. that's going to be doing agricultural policy. So I'm very excited for the next chapter in my life. But in the next 2 years, I'll be finishing my degree at South Dakota State University. And I know that regardless of if I have a crown on my head, I'll be an advocate for dairy for the rest of my life. So thank you all very much for this amazing opportunity.
Thank you. Charlie?
And Mr. Chair, I would want to say that we do have some dignitaries here today. I said Senator Bruce Anderson is here in the back, and I say our county attorney, Tom Kelly, is here, our county auditor, Bob Hevola, and also Kayla's ag teacher, Mr. Jim Winiger from Howard Lake. Oh, there you go. Okay. And, but Jim, did you want to say anything, or did any? And I see we have Joey Berg here from Middleville Township as well, where Kayla's from. So if any of you guys would like to say a word or two, that would be great too, so.
Can you change Charlie's grade from high school?
No. Could you come up and,
Yeah, come on up.
we have you, that way we can, others, if they're not here, could hear this as well, and
I do have access to Charlie's records, so I could change a lot of his grades, but no, in all actuality, we're very honored to have Kayla as be honored today. We We so enjoyed her as a student at Howard Lake Waverly Winsted High School. She served as a chapter officer for a number of years, as well as a state officer, and it was just an exemplary student, not only for our chapter, for the state as well. Thank you for all that you've done for our chapter, for our state, representing the dairy industry. We really appreciate it, Kayla.
And sir, Charlie, you mentioned his name, but the gentleman.
Jim Winiger.
Jim, thank you, Jim.
And also, I'd be remiss if I did not mention, but we have a princess. Now, Kayla was named one of the 3 top at the crowning last year, and this year, one of the 3 top was Morgan Kraus, also from Wright County. So maybe you coached her along, I don't know.
We've been involved in FFA and 4-H together for a long time. So Morgan was
that's
named a top 3 finalist, and she spent the first 3 days at the state fair, and she's already had her head sculpted out of butter. So if anyone's headed to the state fair, you'll be able to see another Wright County girl in 90 pounds of butter.
Hey, that's a good, I always wonder, what do you do with that 90-pound butter box?
Wait,
Do you have a sweet corn festival at your house and everybody just rolls it into it at the end of your reign, or?
A lot of girls will have sweet corn feeds or pancake breakfast, but I've heard that a sweet corn feed barely uses any of it because you melt it down. So mine's still in a chest freezer at home. That's basically the only thing in the chest freezer because it's about this big. Right now, we might have a big celebration at the farm next summer, but I don't have any concrete plans as to what I'm going to do with it.
how many times have you been asked that question?
More times than I can remember.
But now it's on TV, so, we answered it for a lot of people at one time for you.
Good.
So basically, he's promoted other people to ask you the same question.
And Kayla, you will be happy to know we're having a little reception for you in room 120. We're going to have cake with cream cheese frosting. We have ice cream to go along with it, and milk also. So
Perfect.
I think we get all 3 of our dairy things in there in one day.
Exactly.
And then if somebody, because we are going to join later, but if somebody wants to grab the ice cream, it's in the commissioner's freezer and refrigerator. The ice cream and the milk is in there, so we'll have to take that over. So.
Perfect. Thank you
But
so much.
thank you very much. This has been great, and you've done a great job representing Wright County and all of Minnesota. So
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
thank you, Kayla.
As long as it's Kayla Mock Day and we're honoring both you and the dairy industry, could I have anybody that's either now or at some point in their life was actively involved in the dairy industry to please stand up in the room?
There we go.
We got more than another.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you very much for coming in today, Kayla. And Charlie, thanks for putting this all together. Did a real nice job.
Thank
He
you.
was more nervous than you were this morning.
So we'll see you over in the community room here
20?
120.
at some point here, but
Yep.
Thank you.
That was really good. Way to go, Charlie.
All right, I'm hungry. Let's move along here.
well, and if some of this, we could always break after the time things and head over there maybe too. I don't know how,
We could.
If it goes
if
too
it's
long.
taking too long.
Okay,
If
yep.
it's, but you make that call, okay? Why don't you, if
Okay.
you think we need to go over there, you
Okay.
tell me and we'll kind of break and head on over.
Okay.
9:15, Bob Hevola. Good morning, Bob.
Hey, good morning, Board. This is quite a flashback to being in parades, always following a princess. The fanfare for the princess, then, oh, you. Anyways, Board, today we're just presenting to you the list of the parcels that are going to be up for forfeiture sale on October 4th. Brian's going to go over the things that you need to take care of today. So here's Brian.
Morning, Mr. Chair, board members. You should have a resolution in your packet, and what that would accomplish upon adoption is setting the sale date of October 4 at 1 p.m. and also approving of the sale list. And we've got some changes that we talked about. Well, a couple of changes have been made by staff, and a couple were talked about at the tax forfeit committee meeting this morning. Do you have that list of the various properties? Okay. You'll see that there are 3 properties where we have special conditions of sale. The property at Quam Avenue in St. Michael, about a third of the way down, we would add those similar conditions to the property on Needham Avenue in Otsego, mainly because there's an old trailer house there and a garage that probably will need to be demolished, but there's also personal property in the garage. So we're basically saying to any purchaser that you're buying this lock, stock, and barrel. You're getting the personal property and the property as is. We would also add that same language to the Fairway Drive property in Monticello, which the city of Monticello has already declared as uninhabitable. They have said that it can be fixed up, but they would not allow anyone to live in there as it currently sits. And there is some personal property in the yard and also in the house, I believe. So we would add those conditions to those two properties. There was also discussion this morning about the last property on the list, raising the minimum bid price to $171,800, which is what the assessor's office has as their value on the property. Am I missing any, Bob, that you can
Mr. Chair?
recall? Oh,
601 Elm Street.
Yeah, we can, there are not actual conditions to be approved of on 601 Elm Street, but that house is another one that needs to be torn down, and we've been working with the city of Monticello to have a practice burn on that, much as we did with another house in Monticello a couple of years ago. The city has been great to work with. They've taken the lead. The city fire department has certain expenses to the tune of a little over $3,000 that they would charge us. There's also, we have a bid from Brad File to do the demolition work and haul away the debris. All total, about $10,000 in expenses we're proposing to undertake. But as you see, we're listing it as a minimum bid price of $20,000, so we're hoping that we can recover all of that out of the sale price.
Excuse me, Brian?
Yep.
So the specials that are there, 96, 49, 41, are those the numbers you just mentioned? Are they in addition to this 96, 49, 41?
That's a good question. I'd have to double check on that. The city would have the opportunity to reassess those specials if they so desired, but I think they're more interested at this point in getting it cleaned up.
Because we may not recoup all that money
Right.
potentially if you do the 10,000 on top of this.
Correct. I can double check on that, but I don't think that would change what we plan to do, which is
Okay.
burn the building and haul away the debris.
But I guess the answer to your question, my question then is that the 96, 49, 41 is in addition to the amounts you just mentioned.
I need to find that out.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, Brian, the one that caught my attention was the value is 10,000 and the minimum bid is 21,000. That's Roberts Court, third one down. So it seems like it's the opposite of the others, that the value is more than the minimum bid price.
Trying to think of, okay. Do you remember anything about that property, Bob? Third one down in Buffalo?
No, I don't. I know Tony recommended the value.
The value or the minimum bid price?
Well, the value was driving the minimum bid price.
Well,
We could follow up on that one.
We could double check and make sure they haven't been transposed, but Tony,
Yeah.
Tony was present at the meeting where we set the minimum bid price, and he may have had a reason for setting it at 21, or recommending 21.
how about this one in Monticello with $305,000 worth of special assessments? What is that all about?
That property, is it Jefferson Commons?
Yep.
Yeah.
The apartments.
Is
that
out,
That's by the apartments, isn't it?
it's actually south of I-94, I think, if it's the property I'm thinking of.
I thought it was one north of 94.
So it's bare land, but in a very desirable location? Is that what I'm understanding this to be?
Yeah, I wish I had, I do not have the beacon aerial photo of that one, but, again, it's a situation where the city, would have a chance to work with a purchaser on reassessing any specials, and that may have been, why the minimum bid price is under what our assessed value is.
Well, is there like an apartment building on there? Is that what that?
No, I'm quite sure this is bare land.
Mr. Chair, if I'm getting this, I'm kind of recalling this one, on that Jefferson Apartments, when you're going up that hill like you're going to St. Henry's.
Yeah, it'd be on
That-
7th
that
Street.
Just beyond the apartments, that big chunk there before they're gonna put Fallon over the freeway, that piece of ground there is what I believe this one is, if I'm remembering that correctly.
There was one over by the high school, I thought, too.
No, that was the Jefferson Apartments and the Jefferson Commons, that was the apartments down that little hollow.
That'd be
There's
on
that-
7th Street, right?
7th Street, you go up
Make
that
sense,
rise.
Tom? Jefferson?
I think it might be the east of
The apartments,
City Street.
is it?
Oh, that's called Jefferson Commons in that area?
So
Oh, okay.
That's
So we're
different.
on the
than
other side.
Jefferson Commons. is
So that would be
apartment
between River City Extreme and Taco John's.
Mr. Chair, that rings a bell with me as
Okay.
well. I remember seeing
So
it
yeah, it's a
on-
very desirable piece of property.
It is.
Either way.
It's a commercial parcel.
complex. That was that one.
Mr. Chair?
Mr. Delyden?
Regarding the property on Quam and St. Michael, this was also on the auction last spring, whenever we had our last auction. What was the price listed at that time? Was it at 125?
150.
It was higher. I want to say 150.
So we are, okay. I just wanted to make sure that we're dropping it down. And are we doing any more advertising for this sort of stuff other than just on the county website? I mean, the more exposure we get, the better results we're gonna have. I mean, we need to try and get it out there somehow.
Well, I think
Looking
particularly
Bob.
these more valuable ones.
Yeah.
You know, if it's a strip 5 feet, wide that nobody's really interested in.
No,
But these ones that have some real value to them, I think it would be nice to put a $50 sign out there saying this is going up for auction on this day,
well, putting that out, but still, I'd like to get even more exposure. Somehow. Maybe the front page on the website or something.
Well, Mr. Chair, I'll make a point that we're doing real well on our tax forfeit properties compared to our neighboring counties. They have a lot more properties on tax forfeit, and they have a lot less action than we have on getting rid of them. So I think even though you'd like the more advertising, we're actually doing a pretty good job disposing of and moving these on
You've been
compared to other
diligent.
counties.
You've been diligent on that.
Compared to other
committee.
counties.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution authorizing the public sale of tax forfeit properties on Tuesday, October 4th, 2016 at 1 PM.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion by Delay and second by Potter. And relative to marketing these a little bit better, I don't know, do you want the committee to talk about that, or how do you
Well,
want?
I mean, having a sign out, do we even put a sign out at all on these properties?
Mr. Chair, Commissioner Delighten, I don't believe we put out anything other than that it's owned by the state of Minnesota. We have some no trespassing signs.
I think, I mean, you
With the
know-
commercial ones, it certainly makes, especially.
Yeah, this
makes
one
sense.
in Monticello that's valued at like 399 grand or whatever like that. I mean, people are gonna drive by there and folks that would be interested will see it and they'll let other people know and word will get out. I think you got 4 or 5 properties here at least that ought to have some sort of a sign in front of them.
Mr. Chair, could I suggest that part of the motion also be to approve the demolition of that Elm Street property in Monticello? Just as,
Is that included in the motion?
Well, there were some questions on that one.
Well, that's the one where,
They weren't sure about the specials before.
but regardless, it needs to be done. So I guess we'd get the money back first for taking it down. The city would
Correct.
get their special second.
we're trying to basically kind of fast track it with the city in terms of allowing this practice burn, so.
Okay, I'll include it in with my motion.
Yeah, and I presuming the city would be very supportive of that because they're the ones who have, reached out to me initially and I contacted Brian about burning it down and doing just that, so. Any further discussion?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, Brian, are you going to verify that amount?
Robert Circle.
That one and the Elm Street, we'll double check on the
Okay, good.
specials.
Okay, any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oh, was it a resolution?
Yeah, there is
Okay,
a
I'm sorry.
resolution.
Commissioner Burrell?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Resolution carries unanimous.
Thank you.
Charlie was asking about us going over and joining him there, but are you folks here for the 925 item?
You got something for him to sign? Yes.
Okay. Charlie, can we'll take the 925 item. I don't know about the other staff and what their schedules are, but let's go to the folks here that are here for the 925 item.
Pretty short agenda.
And that's relative to the hardship mobile home request, so. Sir, come on up. We've got the information. You must be Mr. Worm?
Robert A. and Carol Worm, yes,
Okay.
at 4729 Conner Road 7, Maple Lake.
Okay, here, so we gotta go back a little bit into the packet and find this here. Okay. Do you wanna, I think what we'll have, Mr. Worm, we'll have, who's taking this with staff? Greg, are you leading this discussion?
Sean, but
Okay, I wonder if he was watching on internet and realizing that it wasn't
Or Stacy,
time
you
yet.
doing it?
Okay, I'll be here in a second. What is it, 9:25, okay. But he's literally walking on his way? Yes. Okay. Why don't we have our zoning administrator kind of give us a quick overview, and we'll give you an opportunity to add anything if you feel there's something needs to be added, okay?
Certainly.
Okay, great.
they're done, Mark, maybe quick.
I don't, Mark, you want to come up here, and we'll get something done while we're waiting then? Sean, Mark, or, well, there he is, come on, Sean.
Welcome to Virgil would have been first.
Here we go.
Oh, no,
No, Mark's actually had a,
Mark and Chris.
Mr. Chair, County Board, in front of you for a medical hardship mobile home. We have done the procedures for notifying the direct neighbors. Health and Human Services has submitted their form that they feel this is an appropriate need. There will be a new septic system put in to service the existing house that the mobile home will be tied into. We did get one.
so you said there will be a new
Will be.
septic system, okay?
We've issued a septic permit. Because we did receive one neighbor input concerned about the current status of the septic system.
Yeah. You guys did an inspection then, I take it?
We will be doing it when it's installed.
Okay.
You got that, Lee?
Will the, just out of curiosity, will the septic then support both the house and the mobile home?
It will.
Okay. And then a final question I have, Sean, I know the adjacent property owner, there was a question about property line. What is the setback from property line for this use?
It is 30 feet from the side property line.
Okay.
Stacy in our office has been in discussion with the applicant. It's a little bit tight, but we're confident that it can fit if they're willing to move that 30 feet off the line. The neighbor to the north has indicated he has a survey. I haven't seen any survey yet, so at the building permit stage, we'll have to make sure we know where that line is or a safety margin and be 30 feet from it.
Okay. So we'll be 30 feet from the line, not necessarily 30 feet from where the grass is, because the grass may not be where the line is what you're telling me?
That is correct.
Okay. Those are the only two questions I had, because, as you mentioned, there was a letter from the adjacent property owners, and they do not have any problem with the request itself for the mobile home, just provided it meets that setback from the surveyed line, and then the issue with the
Septic.
with the septic. So.
And if there is an issue, the property is large. It could be shifted to other parts of the property if, under worst case. It's not like a 1 acre lot.
Oh, okay. How many acres is it?
It's got to be at least 40.
40
Oh.
acres, it says.
40, yes.
So is it the blue block there, or?
It's the green below the blue line, but
Yeah, so you're not seeing that.
the
entire
yard
part.
isn't 40 acres. The yard is
No,
just.
yeah.
It's a 40.
But
You
but
don't-
it's the blue there where, yes.
Correct.
That's highlighted. That's where the house is.
The yard is about 3 acres, including where I.
Well, point to the one it is. It's not the one in the little box. It's the one in the bigger. It's that one.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so the small one down below is separate property.
I believe that's a
That's,
substation.
Calpines?
No, McAlpin's property is to the north.
yes, meaning,
It's a utility.
Oh, okay.
It's on a small parcel for a utility.
The McAlpin property is to the north.
And the majority of this property is obviously south and west
Okay.
of the for the house.
All right, that's our issue. I was confused.
But the yard goes in there, so they just wanted to get from the line, not from where the yard is.
You mentioned about a drain tile also.
And that's not an issue if they're putting a new septic in. So Mr. Worm, it sounds like the board kind of, did you have anything else you wanted to add beyond what Mr. Riley stated?
Not really, I guess we're just hoping for approval today so we can get moving on with this project.
Okay, I think what we're looking at, I think what we're maybe circling the wagons on here based upon what the staff is saying is that you'd be allowed to get the mobile home permit provided you put a new septic in and you stay 30 feet back from that surveyed line, not necessarily where your yard is, because there seems to be a dispute on the property line there, so you'd be 30 feet from the survey line.
Yeah, there's been a dispute on that for, well, I guess it just started, but the property line has been, I've been taking care of that for 57 years. I don't know why all of a sudden it changed, but that's okay. We'll be far enough back
Yep.
either way to make it work.
Yep, exactly. Okay,
I'll make a motion approving the request, that it is a temporary and the mobile home must be removed when no longer used for the approved medical hardship.
I'll second
So-
that. Oh.
okay, motion by Delyden, second by Commissioner Hewsom. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries unanimous. Thank you. We've got,
You just got those two
yeah,
items.
well, Virgil and Mark, are you guys' items like just couple minute items, or would you be okay with joining us for a snack with,
2 minutes, yeah.
how about yours, Mark? Are either of you got time that we can just, otherwise you can join us in the community room and we can take care of it afterwards. Tell me quickly, do you need to get her done now? Okay, Mark, come on, Mark, do you need to get yours done now, or? Virgil, we'll get yours done, then we'll go over and we'll join them in the community room, okay, Charlie? Okay.
We're getting hungry.
Okay, Owners Committee minutes.
Thank you. Good morning, Chairman Swatsky and Board of Commissioners. This morning I have two minutes to be approved for two owners' meetings. The first one was in July 7th. And at that meeting, Ken Francis was there to share information. There were a total of 3 change orders presented, totaling $3,036. The budget review was done, and the project at that July meeting was still running about 10.5% under the budget. And that's the kind of quick and dirty update for that meeting.
Yeah, and there's no actual recommendations to this board to make in these minutes, right?
No, it's just approving the meeting.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes of July 7th.
What's the other date?
The other one's August
4th.
4th.
Okay, why don't you just do them
I
both?
can do them
Is there a
both
second to
together.
that? Second. Second by Commissioner Burrell. Any further discussion?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. We have some issues that are outstanding that,
No, I realize that, but I'm kind of, I'm disappointed, I guess is the term, that we have to have a change order for $2,225 to extend the electrical receptacles down to the hose reel beams for the retractable power reels. To me, that's poor planning on an engineering's part, that we knew the hose reels were going there, but yet we didn't put the electrical receptacles in the correct location originally. Just like change the outlets in the welding bay to GFI outlets per the inspector. Well, I guess that one, from my understanding, is a little questionable. But some of these things to me seem like poor engineering.
somebody made a mistake. You're right. And then what happens is.
We're paying for it.
We will pay more for it now than had it been in the bid. We would have paid something if it was in the bid, but it will cost us more now. You're absolutely correct. And that's the importance of taking your time and making sure these things are drawn up correctly in the first place. Because they cost you, like I say, I mean, if that was $2,225, it might have been half that amount had it been in the bid, but,
Or if it would have been put in the right location the first time. And by the looks of it, it
or,
was,
yeah, if it had been put in the right location, like I say, then it probably, there still would have been a cost associated with it. It wouldn't have came for free.
well, no, but extend electrical, so maybe if they would have been put in the right location. So it sounds like they're there, but we have to
Well,
move them.
I think the probably ones are there, then they're gonna extend and put another one down beyond us, you know what I mean? I don't know that one's going away, but,
That's just my 2 cents.
no, you're, on these big projects, trust me, they can't build them without making a mistake. I mean, without overlooking something.
Exactly.
There's thousands of minute things in, one, you know what I mean? They're gonna miss a little thing here and there. I think Chris's brother even made a mistake when he designed a building one time in his life, if I'm not probably, but,
Probably.
you know, so it probably happens to everybody where they miss something, so.
Yeah.
But you're right, it costs us more when it gets missed.
That's why you have contingency built in there to catch these things.
And just so everybody knows, we have 3 or 4 fairly large outstanding issues yet, at least that's what I know, and one's with a roof, 2's with grates, 3's with, some concrete near thresholds, and 4 is maybe with hose reels.
Correct.
So, unfortunately, we do have a few problems that, but I don't know what the solution's gonna be, because they're not easy solutions, and they're creating some problems out
And the
there.
next owners meeting is September 8th, a week from this Thursday, so we'll get an update at that time from Cross Anderson.
Any further discussion on the minutes? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign, motion carries unanimous. Why don't we take about a
Thank you.
15, 20-minute recess and, to join them next door, and then we'll be back.
Okay.
We're back in action here. I'll call the county board meeting of August 30th back to session. First item would be Mark Matthijs, Wright County Park Administrator. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the board. As you have made you aware in the past, we received $700,000 grant from the Greater Minnesota Regional Parks and Trails Commission, legacy funds for Phase 1 development at Bertram Chain of Lakes. Recently, you awarded a contract for the access road and parking lot construction at about $267,000. We did the trail bridge construction. The access road came in a little bit under our perceived budget at the time. We did the trail bridges. That came in about $5,000 under budget. Part 2, kind of the development, the bigger stuff that you guys will concern yourself with, the little stuff I'll just do, is the construction and award contract for a 4-season rental facility at the park. This facility will be a place for family reunions, business functions, school groups, those types of things. It'll be 4-season. It'll be our only 4-season public facility within the county park system. We have the nature center now, but the nature center has very strict guidelines that it's only reserved for environmental educational purposes. This will be more wide open. Weddings, wedding receptions could be in there without booze, because we don't allow booze. Alcohol, that is. We placed a bid ad, 3 weeks, 11-day publishing. We received 6 inquiries that are listed. We only received 1 actual bid package back from Larson Building. Our advisory council reviewed this last Friday at the Bertram Chain Lake Advisory meeting. Long discussion about the 1 bid, the process, things like that. In the end, they did recommend to you to award the bid to Larson Builders for the amount listed. We will have 1 reduction that we're looking at. It's a cost savings of about $5,000.
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Potter.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mark, is of this base bid and then the total bid, is this within the budget that you had thought about for this building? Is that same price range?
It's a very good question, Commissioner Potter, Mr. Chair. When we developed the grant budget, we developed that there's an existing building on site that we proposed at the time for a remodel. So I budgeted for a remodel. Since that time, we had Craig Schultz go out with Planning and Zoning Building Inspector and review that building just to see, you know, we should have maybe done that first, hindsight 2020. Craig came back with a recommendation for removal of the building. We said, oh boy. So with our planning money, we had another independent person come out and look at it, just, 2 eyes are better than one. Same recommendation came back. So my budget is less than this, than what's proposed. Because we did a remodel budget at about.
So then where's the money coming from then?
Well, that is this does fit within our budget of our project.
Okay.
The discussion we're gonna have, this afternoon at the 2 o'clock budget meeting is there's, 3 other portions of the Phase 1 development budget that are up to do. One is the beach house down at the beach. We're not sure where those numbers are in because we have not hired an architect or firm or did a request for design build yet. Picnic shelter, and then there's some trail development. We don't know where those numbers are gonna come in at. So at this time, if you award this, we'll have to look at that. Are we gonna need some additional funds requested from the CIP to complete the whole development? Or are we gonna back scale our project, delete the picnic shelter, delete the trail work, to try to do a cost savings on our grant so we don't have to come up with as much? Play this, and then bid out the beach house and see where that comes in at, and then have that conversation as well. It's one of those.
So there was a plan from day one to have this type of building available for use, but the facts came back that the existing building, which you thought you were gonna use,
was not suitable.
was not suitable.
No, and it's sad.
It's sad, but
And we tried. I really wish we could have saved it, but.
Well, and there was hope too that we could use some service organizations to maybe, pull the siding off, pull the roof off,
Yeah.
put some siding on, some re-roofing, and the county just, along with the grant, you pay for the materials and the service organizations provide the labor, but, at the end, there just wasn't enough there to work with.
Well, that's.
That's how you find out.
Well, you did everything you could to try to save it, so can't say you didn't try. But this was part of the plan right from day one to have a meeting area like this.
Oh, yeah,
So that's
absolutely.
part of it.
Yeah. So the budget, Commissioner Potter, if you do this building, when we bid out the beach house, the changing rooms and the bathrooms and that, where that price comes in will be the determining factor where we're at within our budget.
And that's the next
Right
thing
now,
that we need.
this puts us over our planned budget.
Okay.
And the next thing that we do need to do is that bathroom facility down there.
But this is the important first step to take to get to the other parts of it.
I think so.
Okay, with that, Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the bid with the alternate is what you're looking for too, for the amount of $402,550.
Correct.
I'll second it.
Motion by Commissioner Potter, second by Commissioner Delyden.
Question. Did you review those warranties on the decking and the railings?
Yes, it's same stuff we put on out at the nature.
Oh, it is, and you've been having good luck with it? Because I was figuring it was a longer warranty than they stated on those things.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But we've been satisfied with the stuff we used at the nature center.
All right, good. I didn't realize we had some history with that, with those, the maintenance-free decking.
Yeah.
Good.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimous.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mark.
Mark.
Thanks for
Building.
the cake, Charlie.
Thank you. Building Committee, Commissioner Potter.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Building Committee met on August 24th. Members President Potter, Delyden, Kelly, others President Wilczek, Shumper, Job, Chur, and Goodrum Shorts. The first item we talked about was the courtroom bench remodel designs. We had 3 different courtrooms we were looking to add clerk stations. And just the short and skinny of this one, a letter from Judge McPherson that we received on August 5th that said the courtroom 1 design options were not suitable and will not be modified at this point in time. Basically, after that, the discussion turned into the recommendation of Delyden and Potters recommend continuing forward with the project, completing the work courtrooms 2 and 5, preferring to use local shops for the modifications if possible, because it's going to be a custom type thing anyway, and we have enough cabinet shops in this county. We should be able to find some there. The next item is the modifications to the Human Service Center room. 227. Wilczek just gave us an update on the status of the emergency door to the north, removable partition, and the building's east door. That's kind of a fire exit to the east there. It's rusted out. So the delivery, just waiting on the delivery of materials. They expect to take 3 to 4 weeks. They're looking at a Friday evening, Saturday to install these, is not to disrupt the workflow in there. And this was just an update only, and so we're expecting that 3-4 weeks. It should be done mid-September here. Next item was the annex bathroom, and Wilczek provided us an update on the project and the status of the architect's work. They're still working on a few little items there to make sure we meet code and everything. As an update only, there's no recommendations, and it was noted that this project's gonna be pushed into 2017 because site improvement budget, we're kind of already at that limit. So this will be a project for 2017, and whether it's done in December, January, not gonna really matter that much, but it's moving forward. The next item was the Public Works Deferred Maintenance and Remodel. Wilczek updated us with the status of the architect work, with the shop area modifications, let's see, I'm trying to figure out with the full report and findings for the roof and windows. It appears that we need to put new windows on all the way around that building because they got some issues there. And then the multiple options that are coming with the sloped roof finding. We're still waiting on some more information on that. And I believe that person was supposed to be out here, was it this week, last week, Mark?
This week,
This
the
week?
30th.
Also
Today.
and the part of it was talked about the workbenches and miscellaneous for the surveyor's department there, that workbench in the back of the office area for work surfaces and under files, similar to what's sitting out in the highway building. The cost of work, $2,000 for the workbenches and $6,000 for the office area. Stuff we're still kind of wavering on which way to go with that. We needed a little bit more information on seeing how they actually fit in. The recommendation is move forward is to purchase the workbenches for the shop in the area and the conference tables and chairs. We'd like to continue to explore the work surface area just to see if that's how we want to do it or not. And that'll be coming up in a future meeting. The fifth item was the compost facility storm repair. And that was just an update with the MCIT, delivered the last report and recommendations through Tim Dahl. Note if the payout value, if we repair it, was $117,800. The other thing, they didn't have it in here, if we didn't repair it, I believe the check was for like $52,000 or $56,000, somewhere in that neighborhood, if we didn't repair it. So Wilczek is going to meet with Marcus Construction out of Wilmer to actually get an actual bid on repair on this. We've been told that it's anywhere from $250,000 to repair that, but we don't have, that was just a guesstimate. Now we're going to actually have a bid to see what's going on at these.
I got a question, because you say there's going to be a bid. Because if a project this size, you actually have to have bids to do it, but they're not giving us a formal bid?
It's not a formal bid, it's
More
just,
of a,
yeah.
okay.
The problem is, you're very limited on who you can have do it because it's certification required for that building.
No, and that's fine, but just legally, we'd have to put it out for bids.
Once it's over 100,000, we
Yeah.
have to put it out for bid. But I think this is just one of those
We need
bids
a
for
real,
informational bids for us, what it would do this for. So it's just, we're just trying to get to know where the numbers are before we make that decision, and we're,
actually,
because of the size and the scope of this, it was recommended by Commissioner Delight and myself to wait for that Marcus Construction bid to write before moving forward. And also, it'd probably be appropriate at that time to put this into a committee of the whole when we get to that point, when it comes time to decision which way we want to go on this. Because this is just a little bit too large for just two commissioners to say this. We want all five understanding the whole scope of it. And then this way Al will be able to explain it. And
there's another key to this part too, is that we received some money for some hail damage, which is one of the reasons why the amount from MCIT is lower than what we feel.
Yeah.
And we needed to find out what that number was too, that was set aside when the check was received for that hail damage way back when.
So that was only a good, like, 2-3 years ago or whatever it was.
No, that
Was it longer than
that was way more than 2,
Was
3
it?
years ago. I'd say probably
Was it
10,
before?
12, 10, 12,
Was it
10 years
10,
ago.
12? Was that long? Okay. Well,
10 years ago, probably.
yeah, okay, well, anyway, that's the gist of it.
Remember when that happened, Susan? Remember when we got hail damage out there? But it was way more than 2, 3. I mean, it was at least,
It was,
it
okay.
was
if
at
it
least
was-
6 or 7, if
If it was
not
that long ago, then.
10 or 12, you know, somewhere in that
To get
realm.
information.
But we did not replace it at that time because
No.
we said, hey, doesn't matter if the wall has a few dents in it or if the roof's got a few dents in it, it's still just as functional as it was before. So we probably put that money in maybe like the compost facility fund or whatever and maybe use it to match score grant or something. Bob could
No,
find
I
that out.
think it was
But
kept separate. Lee, you were gonna check into that, I
I
think?
can look into that.
but you think it's, you
Did
don't
you
think it
check
still
into it?
exists, do you?
I don't know.
Yeah. I think that we might have used it for like expenses out at the compost facility of other sorts, but I could be wrong.
Something. With that, Mr. Chair, I'll make the motion for the approve the minutes and the recommendations.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Potter. Second by Commissioner DeWiden. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries unanimous. Personnel Committee, Commissioner Houston, please.
All right. The Personnel Committee met on August 24th, 2016. Members present, Hewsum, Sawatsky, Kelly, Hess, Hawkins, Hausman, and Job. There was 2 items. The first was a request to reclassify the senior engineering technician traffic to traffic engineer. And this request came before us due to the retirement of a current employee that was responsible for the traffic engineering duties. And basically, the reason is because the responsibilities have really changed relating to traffic engineering over time. And they require revisions to the job description to really reflect what the job duties are. And so after some discussion, the recommendation was to approve the request to reclassify 1 senior engineering technician specific to traffic engineering responsibilities to traffic engineer. And this is becoming really a trend throughout highway departments. The second was a performance review for Steve Job, our county surveyor, and based on 3 reviews received, the committee recommends a rating of meets expectations. Mr. Chair, with that, I will move the minutes and the recommendations.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Houston, second by Commissioner Potter. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries unanimous.
I'm just glad I got my review in for the surveyor late the night before, otherwise he would only had 2.
Technology Committee, Commissioner DeWiden, please.
Technology Committee met, members present for Burrell, Delyden, Hawkins, Hevala, Goodwin Schwartz, Job, Kelly, Partlow, Rasmussen, Tagaro. Others present were Cooper, Meyer, Nelson, Odell, Robertson, Strobel, Regine. Lindsay, what's your last name?
Meyer.
Oh, okay. Okay, just wanted to make sure. Because there's a big paragraph in here specifically about the problems you had caused in some of this.
That's item 2.
Actually, 2, yeah.
Item 1 was regarding the Live Right website. Health and Human Services has a kind of a website regarding the Live Right initiative. It's a collaboration between public health with local partners. So there was just some discussion on how this should be going forward, and it's a separate website with a link from the county website. So the recommendation was to approve the public health with creating and maintaining Live Right website. It's funded through the public health SHIP grant.
SHIP grant.
So it's nothing off the county, and when the funding expires, the website will cease to exist. How's that sound, Charlie?
Yep.
ACOM Accounts Payable Solution. This was presented by Bob Hevela and Lindsay Meyer from the Auditor Treasurer Department. They informed the committee that the Auditor Treasurer Department has been actively evaluating an accounts payable solution, ACOM. Meyer stated that the other county solutions have been considered as well. A while back, RT Vision was considered as a potential solution until their solution developed, took a turn focus on business process not desired by Wright County. Candy, Ojai, and Lyon counties are currently working on implementing ACOM solutions. The solution is flexible to either be housed on-site or in the cloud. What it does is it provides document management and approval workflows, in addition to electronic check features. Committee members questioned the appeal of the solution over currently county-owned electronic document management system, OnBase. People responded that this solution could be deployed faster than developing solutions from scratch. Committee members discussed an enterprise initiative of leveraging county investment into the two major electronic document management platforms, which are SharePort and OnBase. Flexible enough to handle multiple department needs. Strobel recommend for this solution be added to the list of vendor solution to be vetted through for e-claim, e-invoice project. Project had been placed on hold a while back per Hevela's directive due to other projects taking priority over it. Committee discussed project prioritization. The e-claim invoice project has been reprioritized beginning next in order to complete before the credit card acceptance project. Information only. Item 3, again, information only, just Office 365 update, and it's just still moving forward. Budget numbers are still being working on that. Item 4 was regarding staffing requests for 2017. And we've heard from them on this already, haven't we? Regarding the 800 megahertz armor radio equipment. And then a systems engineer to help with additional infrastructure. So they're all just information other than recommendation for approving public health LiveRight website. And I'll make a motion to approve the.
Second.
Motion by Deline, was that a second by Charlie?
Yes.
Second by Charlie. Any further discussion? Not all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries unanimous. Ways and Means, Commissioner Houston, please.
All right, the Ways and Means Committee met on August 24th, 2016. Members present, Sawatsky, Hewsum, Lee Kelly, and others present, Asselson. And the discussion was on the conveyance of parcel in Franklin Township. And Brian Asselson, our Assistant County Attorney, contacted Attorney Dick Grinley, who is representing the family with a shared interest in this parcel. And Grinley informed him that his client would be interested in purchasing the county's interest in the property, and Asselson recommended that we close the meeting to discuss the price for the county's fractional interest in the property. And the meeting was closed at 8:46 a.m. under Minnesota State statute, and the meeting concluded at 8:52 a.m. The recommendation was Asselson will contact Attorney Grinley to discuss the sale of the county's interest in the property. With that, I will move the minutes and the recommendation.
I'll second that.
Motion by Houston, second by Potter. Any further discussion? Not all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries unanimous. Schedule of some meetings. Coordinator Kelly.
Yes, Mr. Chair, as you know, there is the RFP out that is out for architectural services with the for the courts facility. We're looking at that coming back, responses being due by the end of the day on September 12th. Had kind of proposed a schedule of moving forward with vetting those responses. However, I'm aware that we have some tours that we're looking to do yet, namely, we have one already scheduled for the 19th to go up to Polk County, but I'd like to look, see if the board has some additional availability in the coming month here and maybe into October even to schedule some additional tours. We had looked at touring Benton County as well as Carver as two others.
Who are the architects for Benton and Carver? Do we know them off right?
Not off the top of my head.
Okay.
Yeah, and Mr. Chair, I think that was a discussion that we were looking at different architects.
Ideally, I
Yeah.
mean, you know, because we know we went to BKV one and Klein McCarthy's up there at Polk. You got that information on the cheat sheet there, Lee?
It's not actually.
Okay.
Thought we had Carver on here, but
Yeah, I was thinking that.
You,
that.
Monica, do you have any idea who was the architect for either of those facilities? Okay. Okay, and not that there isn't value, you know, particularly, I wouldn't want to drive 400 miles to see one for an architect we already saw, but if it's
Right.
right in the county next door, it maybe
Exactly.
isn't such a, you know.
Yep, I agree.
So that being said, as I mentioned, we do have the tour scheduled for the 19th. Availability was kind of limited prior. I know Fridays had worked except for the fact that there was the solar committee. Didn't know if that availability had changed at all on Fridays, a potential, or if we should look at other dates.
Now, what Friday we talking about?
Friday?
I think this Friday be a bit soon.
Yeah, this Friday definitely have a solar committee. We may be done this week with the solar committee. I know if we went out to like the 16th or the 23rd, we would be fine relative to the
AMC
solar
is the
committee.
16th.
The 23rd,
Yeah, 23rd?
23rd, I got a 7W
So the
transportation.
22nd.
Courts PM, I had kind
The
of penciled in
RFP.
there.
Okay, so we,
Do
looks
that
like we're
day.
available on the 22nd in the afternoon.
That was a day that was identified previous.
Right.
And staff had kind of talked about maybe having that as a review or the interview date for the RFPs, but it's kind of sounding like the consensus might be to tour, complete all the tours.
The afternoon, what day, Pat?
22nd?
Is the 13th still on the,
I can do the afternoon,
22nd? Maybe we could do either Benton or Carver was the other one.
That may be an option.
Either one of them, whichever worked better for Benton or Carver, and then maybe we pick like a,
Mr. Chair, was the 13th still on the table?
We had talked about potentially doing one of the closer courthouses after a Tuesday. I don't know if that's still an option that you would consider. I know the 20th, we have a committee in the whole in the afternoon, so that's
13th, we have extension at 4
off the
o'clock.
table, but
well, there'd be room
You
for
could-
like
Yeah, you could go to Carver and be back. or
Carver
Benton.
one on
Carver
the
one.
13th in the
Benton.
afternoon.
okay.
1 o'clock or something like that, if it works.
Yeah, one, that'd give us a 2-hour tour.
Be back, yeah.
You'd be back by.
Carver and
extension.
Glencoe?
What city is the Carver one in?
It's in Chaska.
Chask, I believe.
What's the date on
Driving like
Tuesday the
Charlie.
13th is, so Tuesday the 13th,
that? We have extension in the afternoon. my
not
map.
till 4, so maybe at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah, we leave at
And then the
noon.
22nd, we're talking afternoon, so maybe like a 1 o'clock down, up in Benton? Should we just propose those? One,
I'm happy to check with the two counties and
Okay.
see if those dates work for them.
yeah, is there traditional days and times that don't work good for courts across the state, or is each county different the way they set their calendars up?
I mean, each county is different, but you typically have, I mean, the lunch hour is probably a better time for us to be guaranteed to get into courtrooms because 1:30 they
right.
start their sessions. So it may be when I check with them that they would rather have us there like at noon.
So if we left on the 13th, for example, if we left here at 11, so we got there at 12, that would be better.
Yeah, I'm guessing that a lunch hour tour is going to be best to make sure again that
Okay.
we can get into those
Okay,
spaces
well-
before they start.
Yeah.
Or how about if we say noon, maybe we say 1 unless they'd prefer us at noon, then we go ahead and do noon?
Yeah, we wouldn't be able to get in the courtrooms, probably.
If that works?
For one, but if we need to do noon, that
Yeah, we can do noon if they want us there, or 12:30 if that would be okay too. So we got the 13th and the 22nd. Should we get a motion kind of establishing, I guess we'd call these committee of the wholes because the whole committee is going to go around discussing them. These potential meeting dates of the 13th and the 22nd.
And the 22nd
And
is
the
at
night-
what exact time?
The 19th also.
Well, I think we're maybe saying 1, unless they'd prefer us earlier, then we'd maybe up that to 12:30 or 12.
And that's leaving here at 1, or?
No,
well,
it'd be
I
leaving
think
here
we
at noon.
scheduled time of the tour.
Scheduled time of the tour.
We have to leave at 11.
You got
You have something
going
going
on
on
the
the
13th?
13th?
No.
Does anybody have
Just-
conflict in the morning on the 13th?
And where is
Did
that
we-
one going to, Pat?
Well, 13th, we got a board meeting in
Yeah,
September.
board.
Oh, the 22nd, I mean, 22nd.
Where is that one going to?
22nd in the morning, I have Wright County Economic Development Partnership at 8:15. That usually only takes 1 hour.
Oh, so we could have no problem being there at noon then?
No problem at all.
22nd.
The 22nd, where are we going?
So, the 22nd, we're hoping to go to Benton County.
Because I couldn't make it over here by 11. I'm going to be in Waconia at 10:15.
Okay.
For about an hour or so.
Laconia?
Yeah, that's around.
But you just met us there.
Benton is,
North, Waconia.
that's up in,
Yeah, that's pretty much straight north of here.
Foley where I live, so I can
Foley.
tell you it's a good traffic day, 50 minutes. Good traffic day, an hour.
Yeah, Monticello to Foley's 30, and then 20 more to get here, 50, yeah, it's right up 25 all the way.
I wouldn't be over here till about noon.
Yeah, well, then we could do 1 o'clock there. 1 o'clock on the 22nd, and
that's if they can do it.
if they can do it.
I'll check with them, and again, I'll let you know. Try for 1 o'clock. I'll try for 1 o'clock with Carver as well on the 13th. Again, if they have to do earlier.
Okay, is there a motion to establish these dates and general times times may be shifted slightly, we understand, but,
Mr. Chair, did you want to also include the 19th court tour of Polk County?
yeah, why don't we go ahead and get that official too then?
Mr. Chair,
Yeah,
I'll
if-
make a motion
Well,
to approve the
Chris, can
three.
you hang on for a sec?
Yep.
Would it be possible to flip that Benton and Chaska around? Because then Waconia, I'm already,
You're, oh, yeah.
Yeah, but
you're
on the
close.
13th, we got a board meeting, and then people like yourself and Mike need to be back by 4.
Extension.
So we have a narrower window on the
Well,
13th.
Benton, though,
That's fine, we'll just do it.
they're about the same distance away, Mr. Chair. About same time.
It's just that I'll be down in Waconia on that.
So he,
On the
Charlie's
13th?
saying he'll already be in that area. He could
Oh.
just go over there, and he could be there at noon.
Okay, so I guess you're right, I guess they're about the same
Yeah.
distance. I was thinking that Chaska was a little, or Carver would be a little
Can't
bit
get there-
closer,
You can't
but,
get there from here. It takes a while to commute down there.
well,
As the crow flies, it's faster,
Yeah.
but not as the car drives.
Right.
This is Charlie's car.
So,
Because I could
Your
just meet
request-
you somewhere down there going to Chaska. You almost go through Waconia. Matter of fact, you do go through
you do.
Waconia to
It's
get to
very,
Chaska.
it's close to, from
That
Waconia
would
to
make more
Chaska.
sense.
so then we're saying now the opposite, we would prefer
Benton on the
Benton
13th.
on the 13th,
Yep.
and
Chaska.
Carver on the 22nd.
Yeah.
Anything else,
Okay.
Charlie?
Okay.
But if for some reason one of those dates don't work with the other, I guess we just flip them back how we had them.
I have the option either way.
Okay, is there a motion to establish committee of the whole on the 13th, the 19th, and the 22nd for the purpose of visiting and viewing court facilities?
I will make that motion, Mr. Chair.
Motion by Commissioner Houston, is there a second?
I'll second
Second by Commissioner Delight, any further discussion?
it. I will not be there on the 19th.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries unanimous. Okay. Anything else you wanted to cover related to this topic then, Lee?
I think it'd be good just to have a little bit of discussion. As I mentioned, the RFPs will be back on the 12th and kind of the process for vetting that. Here's what I was proposing was having, again, a committee of the whole to review the group, however many we get, and try and get down to a group of finalists.
So the last time the committee met, and we narrowed it down to 3 or 4.
3.
3?
Yep.
And then we met as a whole. So I guess it's up to the board if you want to go through all the RFPs, or if you want the committee to narrow it down
Mr. Chair,
to help with the courts.
being that this is not a remodel, this is an actual building, I think this is a case where it's probably be better to have committee of the whole. Because the other one was just a remodel, so throwing that into a building committee courts, that was fine, but this is a big ticket item.
Okay.
I think this is something everybody should be involved in all the way through the process.
How's the 27th at, maybe we just do one, that way we don't have to worry about trying to, I don't know how long it's gonna take, but if we start at 11 and it's a 2-hour meeting, then we're, you know what I mean, maybe we just do it after lunch? Does that work? A Tuesday.
27 would be a Tuesday.
We had also put court question mark for the 21st. That would be
Yeah. 21st Wednesday interviews.
Yeah, we haven't done our final tour, though.
That's true.
But it was down as a question mark, so it wasn't firm.
We'd want to do the tours first before we.
So then the 27th would be a better date.
Yeah.
27th at 1, does that work for folks?
Or, oh,
Could we do it earlier? I
11?
actually am leaving for our annual court managers conference.
we start at 11?
Could shoot for 11, and then like Pat said, if it doesn't work.
I guess,
we-
well, I guess we probably, I mean, I'm thinking it's probably gonna be a couple-hour meeting, so we'll just,
Well, you want the
Works for lunch,
judges
but-
there too.
you know.
That works best for them because of the lunch hour as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
11's fine.
So September 27, 11 o'clock, and that's to review proposals.
Is there a motion to set a committee to hold on the 27th at 1?
So moved.
At 1 or 11, you said?
11.
11, I mean, I wrote down 11, yep. I said 1 for some reason, 11, at 11.
I will move that motion.
Okay, motion by Potter, second by Houston. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimous. Anything else on the topic, Lee?
Well, if we want to, I appreciate having this date set for the review. I'm thinking we're gonna have a lot of questions from those that respond on the 12th as far as what our timing's gonna be. So I think it's good. I'll share this 27th date with them. However, I don't know if we want to set an interview date at this time so they can block that off as well for those firms that will be selected for interviews.
Is that 29th?
Yeah, I don't, the only, and I don't have a problem with that. I wonder if, let's say we get down to 4 and there's one of them that we really like the proposal, but we haven't seen one of their buildings, maybe we'd try to like, you know, and they had a building that was only 2 counties away, it might not be a bad idea to, oh, you know, this proposal really looks good, we haven't seen nothing of theirs, maybe we want to sneak over and see it real quick before the final thing, so I think if we left a little bit of time between then and the next, it might be nice.
well, you still want to do some planning for the judges and stuff. Have more of those in there if possible. Why don't we just figure a week afterwards, like on October 6th or something like that?
Yeah, that works.
Your 4th is a Tuesday also.
Well, yeah. But it just give the judges a heads up that this is kind of what we're planning. Make life a little bit simpler.
Yeah. it'd be nice
October
for their
6th?
calendar.
Monica can plan the schedule so that nobody has courts that day, you know, even.
Did you say that?
I appreciate that.
4th or
That is helpful.
6th, I'm not sure which day we're
Yeah,
fast.
I have safe schools on the 6th, but
Okay. Well, no, I mean, the 4th is fine too. I just thinking that past a week because of what Pat had said, that if there's somebody that, well, what time did you say safe school is?
10 in Annandale.
1 o'clock on the 6th?
Well, how about noon? I mean, again, that's,
As long as you can
Yeah,
get
noon.
done. 'cause
I
I'll
don't-
down
I won't
St.
be able
Paul
to
at
make the
4 o'clock
6th.
For Minnesota Freight,
You won't be
freight
able to make the
transportation.
6th, so.
well, I would think we'd be done.
So we're talking for interviews.
Interviews, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How
Right
many?
now, we don't know how many. Don't know how much time. Question about how much time.
Well, you can figure an hour for each.
Yeah, I would say at least an hour, if not maybe an hour and, you know, last time we did an hour. At least an hour, if not an hour and 15. Well, you know, we're talking more extensive here.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean.
6th doesn't look great.
October 4th is a Tuesday, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
That-
that doesn't give us a lot of time.
Might be a
if there is
challenging
somebody.
week, just with that Tuesday is also the quarterly leadership.
Oh,
Okay.
I'll be at a conference the remainder of that week, the Wednesday through Friday. It's my
well,
challenge.
then maybe the following week.
The 13th, let's block out the whole day for it? Can we do that? Block out the whole day for the 13th?
Regional Active Living from 11 to 1 at Becker.
You can miss that, can't you?
I'll cry on the inside, okay?
I'll go back and check on all of these
But the
dates,
13th,
so I
if
can
that's the date that works for everybody else, I'll make it work.
I'll just need to confirm.
Confirm it.
Well, if you have 4, say you have 4 finalists that you want to interview, that's, you're talking about 5 hours, so
It's the end of
can
the
you do it
week.
on the 11th or not?
The board, after the
After
board.
the board? 11 to 12, and then come back at 1 and do 3 more?
Monica, at the end, is the end of the week better for the judges? Beginning of the week, makes no difference?
It doesn't make a difference. So I would just need to check calendars because we obviously have things that far already, so I would need to make sure that we cover their case to make these dates work. So are we thinking the 11th after the board meeting? 11, or are we thinking?
I just get a little nervous about that if we have important business and that
Yeah.
we get delayed. We do it on the 13th, we book the whole day out, we got nothing in our way.
Yeah.
And we can give people a morning option, a late morning, early afternoon, I mean,
Okay.
instead of,
What about the 20th? I mean, why don't we give Monica 3 days or so?
3 dates, 3 potential
20th,
dates.
13th, the 20th,
13th, 20th?
17th is fine too, it's an odd Monday, so we don't have human services. I can do all day on the 13th.
AMC district meeting, I've got it in my calendar.
On the 17th?
17th.
Yeah.
Okay, so the 13th or the 20th, all day?
We're up at Knabick or something, aren't we?
Or 12th in the afternoon?
Charlie, they working for you?
October, you talking?
Yeah.
For October, yeah, 13th, 20th,
Maybe.
The AMC Fall District meeting I have on here, but,
Yeah.
the 17th?
yeah, 17th.
Yeah, so that's not an option, then the 13th and 20th?
20th, I'm wide open, and 13th, I'm okay too.
What about 12th in the afternoon?
Well, you know what, and what time are we talking on these? Afternoon?
Just blocking out the whole day, I guess, and just being,
I have some doctor
pick
stuff that
apples.
always ends up on Thursday. I just don't
What-
have
what
home
time?
far. It's usually at 10 in the morning.
That's about when we were doing it. Could you do it earlier or later?
I probably could do it earlier or later.
And Mr. Chair, I mean, somebody is on the radio on the 19th, otherwise we could do it after that too, starting at 11. 19th, if you needed more dates for Monica to propose.
Yeah, I do have Historical Society, but I mean, I would miss that and do this instead, but, I mean, I'd like to do both, but
Right.
I'm kind of like Mike on the one meeting, I mean, if it's,
Yeah, if you have
I'm
to
not going to
miss.
let it hold up the whole.
So the
Board,
13th,
but-
the 19th, and the 20th?
13th, 19th, and the 20th. So 13th, 20th would be all day, 19th, here.
Well, that one, we really can't get started till 11 because of the
11.
radio thing and
Well,
that.
but 19th, the 19th one, we're going to Polk. You're talking September?
Oh, we're in October
No,
here
we're
now.
October.
October,
now.
now, okay, okay.
There's a program, Charlie.
Yeah.
We're trying to push the rest of our summer.
Well, just
We're
those
trying to
dates,
get rid of it,
those
you know?
dates were the same as those ones you named off in September, I think.
That gives me enough to work with.
13th and the 20th is the first two, and then the 19th is the third option.
Okay.
Although with the 19th, it can't be till, we can't start till at least 11 though, that's the
Yeah.
problem.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you run, if the more narrow you make a day, the greater chance that you're gonna, because these architects may have a conflict too, you know what I mean? And they might have something they set up 3 months ago and they just can't avoid, and if we only give them a small block, then you're kind of creating an issue there. That's the nice thing about a whole day, I would think you'd have a.
I would think for a $40 million project, they'll clear their books for this.
Well, they're gonna wanna be here too, but there's, yeah, you're right, Mike, I mean, it's gonna take a high priority, but you know how that is, I mean, they maybe set something out 3 months in advance
Correct,
also.
but it's best to give options for all parties.
We got budget at 11.
We got some days in.
I'll go back and check on the dates after the meeting, and I will let Lee know, so that way he can give as much notice to when we won't make it.
But the one we do wanna set here today, did we already set the 11 AM committee of the whole on the 27th?
27th, yes.
We set that one, right?
Correct.
Okay, so we'll, at the next meeting, we can handle the other. Okay, is that topic pretty much done then, Lee?
I think from my standpoint,
Okay.
appreciate the dates, thank you.
So then, advisory committee advisory board updates, Commissioner Burrell.
Nothing.
Oh, you guys.
The pressure on Pat. Let me go.
Let's see
We
here.
got 10 minutes before our next meeting.
Yeah.
I don't want to
Let me go
break.
quick and then you can come back.
Mike, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Highway 25 Coalition met last Friday, Monticello City Hall, 7:30 morning. We have a new player in the game. We got Becker, the city of Becker and Becker Township had representatives there. They're looking to add on to that, dilute the pie a little bit, which is good. But our joint powers agreement's already been formulated, so we're gonna have to look into how that fits in with that, because we had the cost allocation already figured out. So that's in process there. The other attached information from David Turchin Associates upon potential federal transportation funding sources. We decided we're gonna, the first bid they gave us, first proposal, they've changed it a little bit and brought the cost down a little bit, which is good, from 48 to 36,000, which our cost goes down, instead of like $9,000, it's a $6,000. But that's gonna hold off for a little bit until we get a little farther down the process. Turchin Associates is who Sherburne County uses with they have them on retainer along with St. Cloud APO and everything else. So that's kind of dialed in with that there. The next item, we're gonna start meeting on Thursday mornings instead of Friday mornings, because this makes it easier for Claudia Dumont and a few other people to meet their schedule better. Because we want to keep MnDOT involved right from the get-go on this, helps us move forward. And then just went on updates on Monticello with 25 and 7th Street. 7th Street, they decided to rebid because the prices came in too high. 94 Coalition, nothing to update because special session didn't happen. And the Monticello Township, or Monticello, excuse me, Monticello Township's not in it. Monticello will be the fiscal agent for this committee here. And other than that, we just meet once a month, and we just keep moving forward on that. And that's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Chris?
We had our Central Minnesota Mental Health meeting last night, and our meetings are just getting easier, it seems, every month with Dr. Lee in charge. And we've also got a new Human Resources Director, and she's been working on matching sort of the job titles with their responsibilities. And also, we're going to be dealing with the new federal FLSA law, which goes into effect, I believe, in December, that they have 5 criteria for salaried, which are exempt employees versus non-exempt employees, and one of them is to raise all the minimum, the salaries. So we're looking at how that affects the organization and working on that going forward. It probably involves about 65 employees determining their exempt or non-exempt status. So, but otherwise, they just continue to examine programs and to see what's working and what they need to do to make things better. And so, anything to add?
Well, Dr. Lee is doing a very good job of
Yes, he
shining a light on some things
Yes.
that the board had not been aware of previously because of the way it's set up. We wouldn't know about these things.
Exactly.
And he's been finding some things, and I have no doubt he is going to ferret out some things that aren't being done correctly and have them done correctly. Just to give an example here relative to the economics, if you remember back a number of months back, we kind of had some concerns about some things, and particularly billing wasn't going so well and whatnot. And 10 months ago, we had a fund balance of $2.5 million at the organization. Today, it's $3.6 million. So it's increased $1.1 million in the last 10 months. So things are going
A lot better.
We've turned things around, definitely. So
It's just a very open feel now. We know that things are getting to be more and more transparent as time goes on. And as you said, looking at some of these issues that we didn't know were there. So
well,
it's good.
Yeah, the nice thing, Mr. Lee appeared when there's concerns in the organization, he doesn't try to hide them from us and deal with them. He comes right to us and said,
Yep.
we got this going on, this is what I'm gonna do to take care of it.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, things are going well. I don't have nothing to report, but just hats off again to Charlie for taking care of the Princess K of the Milky Way, because Not only did you do a nice job getting this set up here, the reception over there was awesome. You have a future career in party planning. But there being no further business, we are adjourned at 10:53 a.m.